Hey everyone, this is me, the Untitled Viking. This is Rocket Cats. Rocket Cats is for a bunch of people to sit around at a table and play as cats who have strapped rocket boosters to their back and outfitted themselves with grenades, sticky bombs, rocket launchers, and all sorts of other weaponry in the attempt to try to destroy one another. Now, this game is... the idea behind it is that it is kind of a port of the gameplay of games like Super Smash Brothers to a board game world type of thing. Now, I'm trying to think. I for some reason I think there was a game like something based on Super Smash Brothers, not like an official Super Smash Brothers game or anything like that, but for some reason, in the back of my head, I remember playing one. But you know, who knows? It's lost to the sands of time, as far as I'm concerned, as far as that goes. But anyway, the whole point is that the reason I brought that up is because Super Smash Brothers is a game that whenever I see it being played, it looks like it is so much fun. I see, like, you know, 4 people just sitting there going crazy with their little controllers and like yelling and screaming, and there's like this battlefield that is constantly changing, and they're grabbing all these crazy weapons and they're beating the tar out of each other, and it just looks fantastic. And I've always and so, like, when I've always sat down to play it and I've gotten ready to play the game, I can't do anything. My guy is always falling off the side of the earth, plummeting to his doom. You know, everybody else has got all the cool weapons. I'm like, wait, do I jump? Do I go here? Which is my best attack? You know, I can never figure out exactly what I should be doing. So my kids love it, and my kids love beating the stuffing out of Dad. So I guess there's that. But so I love the idea of it, but I mean, for whatever reason, it just doesn't click for me. Not that I don't like video games. I like video games just fine. I play several. But I mean, when I heard that this game was coming my way to take a look at, which is what I did, I was excited because I was like, okay, if we can just slow down the game, the flow of the game here just a little bit, and present it like something with a mechanism I really like, which is card drafting, which is something I really enjoy in games. I think maybe I could grok this and I could really have some fun with it. And sure enough, I did. So let me show you Rocket Cats, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so this is Rocket Cats, and as I said, this is kind of a board game version of games like Super Smash Brothers, if you know what that is. Basically what this is going to be kind of like the two-dimensional but kind of three-dimensional looking player board, in which physics are actually going to affect things that happen. As your cats move off of places, they will fall down. There is a gravity that will drag people to the bottom of the board. So when you place your meeples, you're not going to be placing them like this. I mean, I guess you could, but for the best way to do it is hold them like this, because also then they have the number of the cat on there. This is also a game that can be played in several different ways. I just kind of have a free-for-all set up here just to kind of show you the mechanisms of the game, but you can play a team game. There's actually like a Romeo and Juliet scenario included with the game. There's also like a Predator type game where one person's the hunter trying to track down all the rest of them, sort of things. And each one has its own separate kind of win conditions. There's even situations where there will be roles that your cat will have, and you'll have a different win condition than everybody else. So it's kind of neat that they've actually they have a really, you know, a good game here, but with all the different variations you have, you're going to have lots of different options to keep the game fresh. In this case, since it's a free-for-all game, your cats can't die, but as you can see, there's a marker for each cat over here in the scoring track. Those represent the 9 lives in games where you can get knocked out. And technically, you can't get knocked out. You go down to 0 lives, then you get to respawn and come back in, just like in a video game. But what happens with this is that for each point of damage that you do, you go up on the track. And then if you eventually get to 9 points of damage that you've done to the other cats, then you've won the game. You might be wondering what these little bars are over here. So this is a programming game, but also a like a timed type of game. And each one of these little bars represents a type of card that you're going to have, that you're going to draft as you play the game. And so this is kind of a reminder that, like, you know, the green cards go and then the blue cards go and so on and so forth. And so since this is a game where everybody is going to be taking their actions at the same time, certain actions will go off before other actions. So you just have to keep that in mind, and that's how you're going to resolve them. But that'll make more sense here in just a little bit. There are things that, like, one of the things about the game is that, like, you will be throwing grenades, or you'll be, like, launching rockets at people, or, like, little sticky bombs and what have you. The game does come with tons of these sheets, these like color form sheets. I don't know if you remember color forms. I do. I played with them as a kid. I don't even know, is color forms even a thing anymore? I assume they are. But so, like, if you have a rocket that you're shooting, you want to know what directions it's going. I mean, the rocket's kind of easy to tell what the direction it's going. You'll be instructed to place the color forms down to show the direction that goes, and then because it doesn't move like constantly, you'll slowly move it along the track that it's going until it hits something and then explodes. But those are more important for, like, throwing grenades, because grenades will have arcs. And so you can, this is a dry erase board, you could, like, if that was a grenade and it was being thrown, you could, if like the card shows that, like, the direction of the grenade is like this, then, you know, you would have that, and you could just erase those as you go. I myself, I use the dry erase markers more than the color forms, but you can feel free to use whichever you like. Maybe you don't have a dry erase marker handy. No. Anyway, so also, if you want, you are allowed to put these platforms on the board. The platforms, and this is kind of something that you find in the video games a lot too. The platforms move back and forth, and you'll process those, and when they hit the wall, you flip them over, and notice how the jets now are going the other way, and then it would go back and forth. And your cats can land on them and be carried along by them and what have you. And that you can add those to the game as you see fit. Another way that you can just kind of increase the amount of stuff that's going on. So I'm just going to kind of show you. I'm not going to show you each and every turn. Basically what happens is that you're dealt 8 of these cards, and I just want to show you just how giant this deck of cards are. And this is, you know, even all the cards. I actually left out the cards that are like the quote-unquote expert ability cards, you know, so you even have more stuff that you can throw into the game later. But when you get your 8 cards, you'll look at your 8 cards, and I just want to kind of show you. So, like, you'll notice that one of the things that one of my friends made the mistake of, okay, so like you can see this, and you can see there's like a red background here, and there's a green background there. And then, so they were like, oh, so this goes on green, and this goes on red. And I was like, no, you got to look at the number. So, like, if you look at the number, or like if you look at the color coding of, like, the stuff that's in the symbols on the sides, that's what you're going to be going by. So, like, you know, if you look, and then so you can see that, you know, this actually does match up with the red, great, but this isn't green. That is actually, and it might be tough to see here, I'll get a little closer, but you can see that's an orange color. You can kind of tell by the things that are along the sides there. So that's what type of card it is. But anyway, regardless, what you'll do is, out of the 8 cards you pick, or you get for that particular round, you're going to pick 3 of them. And you're going to take those 5 cards, and you're going to place the 5 cards in front of you. You know, I'm just going to, like, boom, boom, just like that. And then with those 5 cards, you're going to take one of these tokens that's going to have either, like, this this arrow that says like bottom. I'm actually holding the wrong way, so the arrow says, like, and it says bottom. It's a pink arrow that says bottom, or it's going to be a blue arrow that says up or top. And then on each of these cards, you're going to place either bottom or top, to tell when you flip the card over that, like the other players, that you're going to use either the bottom or the top portion of that card. Now, you are going to have, so if you might be following along here, so when you're going to pick your 5 cards, and then you're going to like just sit there and go, okay, and I haven't, and I should actually turn that arrow so it's the right way. So, top, bottom, maybe this one. I haven't looked at the cards. I'm just kind of putting them down here so you can kind of see. And normally, obviously, they wouldn't be put on the board either. But so then you're going to go like this, and you're just going to place those down. Now, you are going to have situations where, because the other players are going to be doing their thing as well, and selecting their locations and doing their actions, you're going to have situations where, oh my gosh, I have a rocket bearing down on my cat. I need to get out of the way. You one time during your turn, you can take a basic action. And a basic action can be like you take a you can use it to simply move. You can use it to do a rocket jump, like, because the cats they're rocket cats. They're considered to have like jetpacks on them. So like the basic move could be a jetpack move to get out of the way of that. Could be to move, like here I'll actually like turn. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Let's say the rocket's almost on top of them. It can be and the direction of the cat matters a great deal. You're going to be changing the direction a great deal as far as like, but this cat's facing this way. Maybe he's just going to, walk, and he's going to walk off the table, and he's going to be falling. That doesn't happen automatically when you walk there. The gravity will take effect at the end of that round, but it will actually happen. So that, just so you know, it isn't like a constant thing. Just like when you're following the paths for the grenades and the sticky bombs and the rockets, things like that. So one time during the entire thing, you can choose not to take the action that's on the card. You don't flip it over, and you take one basic action. Usually that's kind of like your oh crud moment, and replace crud with your invective of your choice that you like, and do that. But other than that, so the different cards just have different things that go on. So I'm just gonna like kind of flip a card over here and show you. So like some cards, like here is like a sticky grenade, and so if you choose to use the sticky grenade, I'm just gonna like get that a little bit closer so you can kind of see it up close. You can tell you that, see, like, and it is a little, the icons are a little small. My understanding is the icons are going to be a little bigger in the final version, but the icons will tell you, like it tells you exactly what the arc is. Like you can kind of see there where it like shows you when you throw this what that arc is going to be. It'll tell you what the blast radius of that is, and you can see like it has a 1 blast rate. It tells you it does, it'll reduce health by -2, so you can reduce things like so. It like all the stuff is right on the card, and which is something I like about it. There's not a lot of, oh geez, go check the rules. Well, what does a sticky grenade do? How does that work, kind of thing, and it'll actually help. Like it just tells you right then and there, what that particular action is. Sticky grenades are kind of neat. That say let's just like show you. So if a sticky grenade lands on a cat, or it lands anywhere, if it lands on a chair or a ceiling fan or whatever, but wherever it lands, you then flip it over. So like it starts off like this, right? And then you flip it over, and then it's armed, and then once it's armed, it isn't coming off, and it's going to blow up at the end of the round, which can lead to some interesting situations. And this has happened in a game where, like, another cat was down here, and like I had a sticky grenade on me, so one of my last actions to do was to like basically move onto the like. And I should mention that you can't land on cats. Like whenever you get to a cat, you'll move it, you'll shove it to the side. You can't be in the same spot. It's just one of those rules. But anyway, so when I exploded, I purposely moved next to another cat so I could make sure that when I took the damage, I was like making sure somebody else was getting screwed over as well. So that's kind of like I shouldn't say the mentality of the game, but that's kind of the chaos and the havoc of the game, and it's meant to be like that. It's meant to be fast, it's meant to be like brutal, and it's meant to be fun, and also it specifically states in the rules that like you should take like 1 minute to set up your cards. This should not be a situation where you're taking, oh geez, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? It's like, boom, just pick your cards, and see what happens. Do the best you can. And I think, like I'll talk about this more a little bit, but I think when the people that I was playing this with, when we were able to relax and just say, you know what, who cares, win or lose, let's just see how much chaos and how much explosions and how much like ridiculousness that we can have happen, and just let that happen. We definitely had a lot more fun at that moment. Okay, so there are going to be some cards that are just going to be simple like movement cards. Blue cards are just movement. So like here's a jetpack, and then like all the information for the movement is just going to be located right there on the side. So this one, it goes straight up, and like you can see that arrow says you're going to go straight up, and then it goes 2. So, you know what I mean? And I should also mention that like certain things, like if you can't complete the movement and you run into something, you just stop moving. I mean, common sense kind of rules occur. Some things like this pistol right here, it's an instant. And you'll notice that like I like the fact, and this has got to be purposeful as far as the design goes, but the instant is on the very end, right? So like you don't like when all the other actions are going, and mind you, okay, I should actually say, like, what happens is like everybody flips over their first card, right? And you have that first card will happen. And so then you look at everybody else's cards. It's like, who's got a green card? Do you have a green action? Okay, then you go first. Who's moving? You know, who's got a blue? And so you move down the list and you go. So in this case, what I said, and let's just say it's this. Let's just say it is. I don't have that on me. Let's put myself, and actually turn myself here so I can actually kind of show this. So I chose everybody else did their thing. You know, red gets to go, and what I did was I did the bottom of this. I did this randomly, so I'm just kind of making the situation work for me. But I threw a grenade, right? And so this one says that I'm gonna. So it's I'm lobbing a grenade. And once again, there's the arrows that I'm going to. So I look at the direction I'm facing. So I'm going to be throwing the grenade. The first thing that happens, whenever you usually and I'm going to move myself so this makes more sense. You're going to move like a projectile 2 spaces away from you to begin with. So the first thing that happens is so I'm throwing this 2 spaces away. There's the grenade. And grenades will explode, like rockets will explode when they either hit something or something runs into them. So like a rocket could come and hit that grenade and they'd both explode. It's definitely something that's happened. But I'm looking at this, what this does, and then it says that it's going to go there, it's going to go there, and it's going to go there. And so we know, the whole table knows that this particular grenade is going to follow this arc, and then it's going to drop down onto the table and it's going to explode. So it is probably in the best interest for this particular pink cat here to get out of that way of when that grenade is going to get to that spot. So it's just kind of one of those interesting. And that doesn't happen in between phases. That happens after the whole turn is done. You're going to move the different stuff. Cats that fall, projectiles that move, that sort of thing. So that's how, and once again, and I want to just, as I said, just kind of set things up to show how these things work. Sometimes you'll just have like here, like is a card that just has an action that says you don't fall because of gravity, and that's a yellow card. It's at the very end, and the yellow cards tend to be things that just will affect. They're kind of like, once again, oh crud moments. The yellow cards will be those types of things that like you'll prevent from happening. I'm just gonna see what I got here. So here we go. Let's go dual Uzis. So here we go. So that's an instant card. So there it has, since it says it's instant, and you'll see it's dual Uzis, so thematically, this cat is shooting in both directions either way. So let's just set something up so you can see if the cat had planned things out really well and like he had done things like smartly, he shoots like that, and he's going to hit like either way. Now sometimes like it'll have a range on those. This one does not have a range, so he'll shoot either way, and he'll do 2 damage to anyone that's on that level. So he would like do 2 damage to this one and 2 damage to that one. And so those cards work exactly like that. Here is a card that has Explosive Arrow as an instant on the top. And so it shoots in one direction and then it explodes. So actually, let's just really make this guy's day bad. So this one, he shoots his Explosive Arrow, and you can see the direction is going to be to its right. And, you know, and this is, or I shouldn't say to its right, it's going to the direction it's facing. So if this particular cat was facing this way, he would shoot and he would hit this cat. But in this case, he's facing this way. So the arrow would, boom, hit that cat. It causes an explosion, which is in that area, causing that grenade to explode, making this cat's day a very bad day indeed. I'm going to dig through and I want to find a couple of the cards for you quick. Apparently, as I was digging through those cards, my cat decided to come up and say hi. But I wanted to show you, so like, purple cards tend to be things like you're turning around like this, and that's how you don't get to turn around. Like basically, once you're in a direction, you go that direction until you can turn yourself around. Or like they'd be like super jetpack type of things. I didn't even do this on purpose. You just came up, you know. But so the purple cards are the ones that allow you to change your facing. But I wanted to show you like green cards here are melee cards, and notice how they go first right away at the beginning. Here, hold on one second. Sorry, kitty. You don't get to play Rocket Cats. So if you have like a card like this one, it says like this is the Hadouken uppercut. You know, like, so it's going to do, it has a range of 1, so you gotta be right next to it. It's going to do 1 damage, but it has the added effect of you and the cat directly in front of you both move up 1 space. So he's like, comes up behind him, uppercut, and they both fly up like that. Which, you know, you might be in a situation where all of a sudden somebody shoots a rocket and it's going underneath you. You know, that's kind of the stuff that happens while you're playing this game, and it's just a heck of a lot of fun. Depending upon which type of game you're playing, you're just going to keep playing these rounds over and over again until a win condition is met, whatever that happens to be. Like, so this one was whoever shot this cat with the explosive arrow doing 2 points of damage that caused this grenade to explode at the same time is probably going to do really well, because that's going to be 4 points of damage to that cat, and like if they would get those 4 points to do so. You just continue until the win condition is met, and as soon as that occurs, you've won your game of Rocket Cats. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, the game really like shine for us after we like grasped the rules, and we just decided, you know what, let's just play this game crazy and fast and just come what may kind of thing. And plus, the more we played it, the more we got used to the how it worked and how to play it. And, you know, to be completely honest, I was way better at this than I was ever have been at Super Smash Brothers. But let me talk about that and more in my final thoughts. Nugget. Alright, so there you go. That was Rocket Cats. Now, I didn't really dive, like I said, a big headlong dive into the deep end of the pool into showing you a full gameplay. It's something that you honestly have to play it to really get the chaotic nature of the game. Like I said, I like programmed movement games. I've always enjoyed them. There was a robot game that came out, you know, I did a video for that like 4 or 5 years ago that I really liked. It was basically robots picking up and delivering and getting in their way. Obviously, you know, if you go back in time, Robo Rally, things like that, programmed movement exists. I can't remember the name of the Gunslinger game with the train. I love that game. I haven't played that in forever. Of course, I can't remember the name, but, you know, just the whole idea of trying to figure out what your opponents are going to do and using your cards to the best of your ability to outwit them and figure them out. I definitely enjoy that. Now, I mean, excuse the curse word here. I do sometimes wish, and this is probably just a little bit on me as far as my ability, I do wish I had more oh shit buttons when this game happens. So, but I think if you had too many ways to escape like an inevitable doom, like if you picked wrong and you realize now that somebody is like shooting a rocket right at your face and there's no way to get out of the way from it, I think that's just part of the game, and I think that's something where you have to just kind of like, okay, it was just supposed to happen, you know, and just accept that you're going to get, you know, a rocket to the face, or you're going to get a sticky bomb put on your butt, and you're just going to have to deal with that. My son did that to me. He still giggles about that when I mention the sticky bomb. Sticky bomb on your butt, Dad. Ah. Anyway, so... Yeah, so I think that the charm of this game is that it is controlled chaos, and that even though you are making the best possible pick, in the best possible situation that you can, you do just kind of have to relax and enjoy the ride and realize that this game is more about the explosions and the uppercuts and the Uzis than it is about actually getting to the end and pulling off the win. And like feeling the entire story of that combat kind of come to life as these crazy cats just go complete furballs on each other, trying to rip out each other's throats. And for that, I really enjoyed it. I enjoy combat games. There's sometimes it's nice to play a combat game that doesn't have 17 hours of exposition before, you know, deep in the dark depths of Catfurbia, the warriors train for their one night. You know, no. I don't know why the cats were in this dining room. I don't know why they have Uzis. I don't care. I just want them to beat the stuffing out of each other, and I want to try my best to be the cat that does the best job of that. And so for that, I really, really enjoy it. So there you go. That's Rocket Cats. If you have any questions about it, please ask away. I'll be happy to answer those as best as I can. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. If you can take the moment, I know that there's like a lot of you that are going to stumble upon this video. Maybe you've watched my videos before, maybe you haven't, but if you can take the time to hit the old like button or the subscribe or the what have you or comment, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you again, and take care of yourself, and until next time, just be the best version of you that you possibly can be. All right, bye-bye.